Hey, great afternoon, everybody. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. We had some technical difficulties, but we are here. Welcome to Lunchtime Empowerment Talks with Dr. Vaughn. I am Dr. Shavonna Whitehead, and it's always my privilege, my honor, and my pleasure. So come on in the room. As you're coming in, say hello. Come on in the room. As you're coming in, say hello. Let's chat a while. Hey, Renee, how are you? Come on in the room. Let's chat a little while. I hope that your day is off to an amazing start. I'm going to share this on my page, and I hope you will too. Listen, hey, Janella, how are you? So I am super excited to jump on here and just to talk with you today for our lunchtime empowerment talks. Hey there, how are you? So listen, I hope everyone is having an amazing day. I don't know if you saw our topic today, but we are talking about be authentically you. Be authentically you. And I know some of you may be saying, Dr. Vaughn, that's very elementary. But here's the thing, if we are honest with ourselves, many of us have been walking around with a mask. Many of us have been walking around changing, settling, altering ourselves for people. Many of us have been walking around changing, watching our words and changing who we are to fit in and changing who we are to be accepted and changing who we are, just to feel better because of some of the insecurities we may have and some of the frustrations we may have. And many of us have actually literally have been tweaking ourselves for other people. We know that there's something different about us. We know that there's a line that we should be walking, and we're changing it. We're changing it because of the simple fact we want to make sure that we make people comfortable. So listen here, I got some definitions for you. Authenticity, being authentic, is being true to one's own personality, character, and spirit. Being true to one's own personality, character, and spirit. Being original, not a reproduction. Being original, not a reproduction, being real and true to your own values, ideals, and actions. You have to understand that when you are not walking around as your authentic self, you are doing a disservice not only to you, but to those that are come in contact with you. Because if I encounter you and I cannot encounter the full, true authenticity of who you are, and I cannot encounter the real person that God created, you're doing a disservice to me. You're giving me part of you. You're giving me part of you. You're giving me a version of you. You're giving me a sample of you. You're not actually giving me you. And when we are not comfortable in who we are, we actually tell God that He didn't make us good enough. Oh, I can't hear nobody but God. I said, when we actually don't walk in the fullness of who we are, we actually tell God He didn't make us good enough. But I don't know about you. There are a lot of things that I thought about myself and I thought that I needed to change. And I quickly realized that the way God made me was more than enough. The way that God created me was actually more than I could ever imagine. The way that God created me, I spent so many years. Hey there, I spent so many years trying to fit into a box that someone else created for me. I spent so many years trying to walk a line that I felt like people expected me to walk. I spent so many years trying to actually navigate this thing called life according to the expectation and the unrealistic expectations of people because of my lineage. But what I realized is nobody can be me better than me. Somebody needs to declare that. Nobody can be me better than me. So I say to you, nobody can be you better than you. And when you are not walking in your authentic self, you are actually not measuring up to all that God has in store for you. Listen, when you hinder the flow of your authenticity, you limit your ability to reach your full potential. Hear me clearly. When you hinder the flow of your authenticity, you limit your ability to reach your full potential. I'll say it one more time for the people in the back. When you hinder your flow of authenticity, you limit your ability to reach your full potential. You have to realize that there is no, you may not be where you want to be yet, but there is a potential that you will not reach as long as you're trying to be somebody else. As long as you are, let me get rid of this false sense of humility. Some of us minimize who we are to make people comfortable. Some of us minimize what the worth and the value that's in us to make other people comfortable. You cannot control what other people do. You cannot control how other people feel about themselves. But what you can control is how you embrace the fullness of who you are. What you can control is how you walk in the trueness of who God created you to be. We were not all created to be the same. So the problem with many of us is that we're walking around as replicas. We're walking around trying to match other people. We're walking around grabbing onto this. That's why one day we're doing this. One day we're doing that. The next thing we're over here trying this. The next time we're trying to do this because it worked for somebody else. Because we have not tapped into our authentic selves, because we are uncomfortable, because we don't match up to the status quo. We are uncomfortable because we don't look like everybody else. We're uncomfortable because we don't talk to everybody else. Let me help you. Let me help you something. I am very oily. And I know the weight that I have on my life. And for so many years, I tried to shrink back because I didn't want anybody to feel uncomfortable. I tried to shrink back on who I knew I was because I didn't want the accountability of who I was. I tried to shrink back because I didn't want the spotlight of who I was. I tried to shrink back on who God created me to be because I didn't want nobody to say that I was trying to be this or I was trying to be that. But let me help you understand. You're going to have people talking about you, whether you're walking in authenticity or whether you're walking in your fakeness. So I would rather you talk about me because I'm authentic and I'm the real me than you to talk about me because I have this fakeness about me and you don't know who I am from Monday through Sunday. Okay. I'm just trying to help you understand. People are going to talk about you. We have to get out of this soft skin where we are upset because they talk about us. They're going to talk about you if you succeed. They're going to talk about you if you fail. They're going to talk about you if you're lazy. They're going to talk about you if you're full throttle. They're going to talk about you if you're prospering. They're going to talk about you if you're broke. They're going to talk about you, no matter what state you find yourself in. People are going to have something to say. So why not, if you're going to have something to say, you're going to talk about me being me. You ain't going to talk about nothing, no fakeness. You're going to talk about that I walk in the fullness of who God created me. I'm no longer ashamed. I am very confident in who God created me to be. I am very confident that I am the more pusher. I am very confident that I'm God's girl. I am very confident of the prophetic that rests on my life. I'm very confident of who God created me to be. And so once you become confident, come on, Jesus. Once you become confident, you have the ability to walk through. And let me slide on this one. And then you have to not allow your identity gap to cause you to lose your authenticity. Oh, Savior God, you have to not allow your identity gap to cause you to lose your authenticity. And I know you're probably saying, Dr. Bond, what is my identity gap? My identity gap is the place that I find myself in from what I was to what I know God has taken me to. There's a gap. There's a process. There's a place called in between. It's the identity gap that sometimes causes me to try to tweak my authenticity because I know where I am and I know where I'm supposed to go. And because they look total opposites, sometimes I will tweak my authenticity in the middle. And sometimes I will tweak what I think I should be because I want to fit in. Okay, y'all don't want to be real. But the truth of the matter is we're human. We want to fit in. We're human. We want to be accepted. We're human. We want to be loved. We're human. We want to be recognized. You're human. If you're human and you got blood running through your veins, you want to be accepted. You want to be applauded. You want to be appreciated. You want to be loved. Come on here. Let's tell the truth. The truth of the matter is so. And sometimes because that gap sometimes is lonely. I can't hear nobody but God. I said that gap sometimes is lonely. That gap sometimes requires some self-work that you can only do by yourself. That gap sometimes, oh God, help me. That gap sometimes requires you telling somebody no. That gap sometimes requires you disconnecting from something that you love. That gap sometimes requires you disconnecting from something that makes you feel good. That gap sometimes makes you actually have to face a mirror experience with yourself. See, that gap is where we start tweaking, because when we don't like what we see, we start tweaking it to fit the status quo. Oh, come on, Jesus. I said that gap. Sometimes we start tweaking it because we wanted to feel more comfortable, or we wanted to feel easier. But how many being fake ain't easy? Okay, I mean, how many being fake ain't easy? Being fake is not easy. Okay, I'm just trying to help somebody today. Being fake ain't easy. Listen, you must give yourself permission to tap into the fullness of who you were created to be, free from the limitations and the expectations of you and other people. Oh, you thought I was just going to say other people? No, no, no. Let me say it again. You must give yourself, yes, you, permission to tap into the fullness of who you were created to be, free from the limitations of you and other people. Because here's the thing, we are easy to talk about the limitations and expectations that people put on us, but we don't always talk about the limitations and the expectations we put on ourselves. Because some of us, we jacked up and we stuck, and we can't love all of us because of the unrealistic expectations we placed on us. Come on here. Come on here. Let's be truthful. Let's be truthful and let's be honest. Some of the stuff that we dealing with right now is because we put expectations. We thought they wanted us to be that way. We thought they expected us. And some of us have put unnecessary weights on ourselves, and nobody ever told you they expected that from you. But because you thought, come on here. Come on here. Some of you, because of your lineage, you saw what people have, so you thought that you had to be better. Nobody asked you to. Nobody told you had to take a leap from here to here. You could have gradually walked it. Nobody told you to launch out in the deep. Some of us have put unrealistic expectations on ourselves. When I realized that I could embrace my journey and the fullness of my anointing at the same time, and realize that God was still working on me, that I didn't have to be perfect. I didn't have to dot every I and cross every T. Yes, I strive for the fullness of integrity. I walk in the spirit of character. I walk in the spirit of humility. I walk according to what God has ordained for me. But I also have to realize that there's an authentic me that understands that I'm not perfect. So I'm not going to always get it right. But can I still be me when I mess up? Okay. I mean, can I still be me when I mess up? See, that's the problem. Most of us, when we make a mistake, instead of taking the opportunity to learn from that mistake and actually visualizing where I messed up, where I need to tweak, make it a teachable moment, we will immediately now try to become something else so that we don't make that mistake again. That's not the answer. The answer is not becoming something else. The answer is actually going to God to find out what was it in me that made the error in the first place, and let me tweak that which is in me that's impaired. Because what you have to understand is becoming somebody else is not the solution. Okay, I'm trying to help somebody here. Becoming somebody else is not the solution. You can glean from other people, but don't become replicas of other people. Oh, let me help somebody. I said you can glean from other people, but don't become replicas of other people. One of the things people always ask me, they ask me, do I pay attention to stuff? Half of the stuff I don't see. Why? Because I'm working my own lane. There's a lot of things that I miss. There's a lot of things that I don't see. There's a lot of things that I don't pay attention to because I'm working my own lane. I am so concentrated on the lane that God created for me. I don't have time to examine your lane. I don't have time to examine how you doing it. I'm trying to do it the way he gave to me. And guess what? That is so heavy for me that I'm so focused that I don't have the opportunity to look at you. I don't got the opportunity to mirror you. No, because I'm trying to build what he gave me and build me well. And guess what? When you are okay with how God gave it to you, God will actually bless what he gave you. But the problem is we try to fine tune and tweak stuff because we want it to be with the popular. We want it to be with the status quo. But how many of you know you are enough? Okay. 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 Listen, embracing your authenticity is not immediately easy, because oftentimes it causes you to go against the crowd. Let me say it again. Embracing your authenticity is not always immediately easy because it causes you to go against the crowd. The more you learn you, the more you embrace you, the more you don't want to be them. I'm going to say it again. The more you learn you, the more you embrace you, the more you don't want to be them. The more you learn you, the more you embrace you, the more you don't want to be them. Here's the problem. Many of us don't want to take the time to learn us because that means we got to dig through some stuff. Many of us don't want to take the time to learn who we really are because we've been living in layers of other people for so, oh my God, I hear you today. We've been living in layers of other people for so long that we don't want to dig through those layers to find out who we are. Why? Because digging through those areas requires work. Why? Because digging through those areas requires you admitting that some of it's your fault. Why? Digging through those areas sometimes requires you to face where you messed up. Digging through those areas sometimes makes you uncomfortable because then you got to face the reality of what's really going on. But here's the thing: when you begin to really learn you, not the you in tragedy. Not the you in tragedy, not the you in the storm. I mean, the authentic you. When you actually sit down and learn you and the attributes that God has placed inside of you, you begin to embrace the fullness of you. And the more you embrace you, the more you love you. And the more that you love you, you don't want to be them. Mm-mm, mm-mm, nuh-uh. Tell somebody, I don't want to be them. Mm-mm, mm-mm. No, I don't want to be them. I don't want to be them. I don't want to be them. The more, but here's the thing. Here's it's A, B, and C. I gotta learn me first. I can't embrace me. I don't know. God Almighty, I can't hear nobody but God. I said I cannot embrace the me that I don't know. And some of us are walking around. We've embraced the image of what we want to be. Oh God. I said some of us are walking around embracing the image of what we want to be. I'll say it again. Some of us are walking around embracing the image of what we want to be, not who God created us to be. I don't want to be them. So I want you to ask yourself, do you really know you? I want you to really take a moment and I want you to ask yourself, do I really know me? Do I know who I am? Uh-huh. Listen, if you're always adapting to what's popular, changing your course to do what you've seen work for somebody else, if you're always grasping at something else that you know worked for somebody else, you have not come into contact with you. Listen, let me help you understand something. I am the more pusher. I ain't got nothing else to talk about you but pushing you anymore. I don't have nothing else to give you. That's my lane. And when I embraced who Shavonna was, let me help you understand something. Because when we don't embrace our authenticity, we say that our suffering was in vain. Come on, God, I can't hear nobody but God. Did you hear me? When you don't embrace your authenticity, you say that your suffering was in vain. I suffered way too much. I endured way too much. I went through way too much to discover Shavonna for me to not walk in the trueness of who I am. I endured way too much. Some of it at my hands, some of it at other people's hands, and some of it just because it was a part of God's growth process. You know, there's 3/3. So just a pit stop. There's three processes to going through. Some of it is at our own hand, some of it is at the hand of other people, and some of it is a part of your growing journey. I'll say it again. Three that are hot. Yes, Lord. Hallelujah. There are three things. There are three ways that we go through. Some of it is at our own hand. Some of it is at the hand of other people. But then some of it is just a part of your growing journey. There are some storms and some valley experiences you must go through in order to birth the next portion of you. It happens in that identity gap. It happens in the place between where you are and what God has already said you're going to be. In that middle, there are three different seasons you may go in. It may be the trial, the going through at your hand, going through at other people's hand, and then it may be just a process that God takes you through to unveil you. Come here, butterfly. I cannot become the butterfly until I go through the lonely, wet, cold cocoon experience, which means though that cocoon experience was not comfortable, though I did not like it, though it was lonely, I had to be taken away from everybody. I need somebody to hear me. I had to be secluded from everybody. I need somebody to hear me. I had to be secluded from everybody for me to be actually go transformation from the caterpillar to the butterfly. And some of us, we speak ill of the cocoon experience because we think it's because we've done something wrong. Okay, let me get off of that. So So here it is. Uh, let me get. Oh God, I love you today. And so when we're talking about being the authentic you, this is what I'm saying. This does not mean that you go out here. People just saying, "Oh, that's just me." No, that's not what I'm saying. Because when you're not integral, come on, with some of this stuff that they out here doing, it ain't no just me. Some of this stuff is just, yeah, okay, all right. Let's. I won't digress. Here, I want to give you some benefits of embracing the authentic you. Let me give you some benefits of embracing the authentic you. First of all, you are happy and you experience joy. You are happy and you experience joy. I know you're probably saying, Dr. Vaughn, I'm in the middle of a storm. I don't know what you're talking about. Happiness has nothing to do with what you're going through. Happiness is a state of mind. Happiness has nothing to do with things being perfect. Happiness is a state of mind. It comes from within. It rises up from within. It comes from within. You make a decision. You pull from within. You don't allow external sources to change your happiness or your joy. Okay. Okay. Here's the next benefit to embracing the authentic you. Trust and respect. When you embrace the authentic you, you know who you are. You know who you are, and you can trust your actions and your decisions. Oh, come on here, God, I hear you. You trust and respect. Personal trust and respect. When you know who you are, you can trust your actions and your decisions. Many of us, we can't make decisions, and we're scared to make decisions because we don't know who we are. Because that Tuesday you may be one person, that Wednesday you may be another, and by Friday you acting like another. So therefore, you have not really learned who you are. So you're scared to make a decision because you don't know who about to make it. You don't know if it's Michelle, Bobby, or Christine. You don't know who about to make it. Because you have not learned who you are, because you become a chameleon. You have changed. Okay. You change for the people. Oh God, I'm out here now. I said you change for the people. And so to make them comfortable, you change. But you have to realize that when you actually know who you are, you can trust your actions and your decisions. When you know who God has created you to be, you can rest assured with confidence that you are making the right decision and your actions are aligning with your authentic self. The problem is we have not taken the time to learn ourselves. Okay. Here's the third thing. When you are the benefits of embracing your authentic self is integrity. You learn not to second guess yourself because you know what you believe. You learn not to second guess yourself because you know who you believe. When you are authentically you have a level of integrity that I'm this way all the time. I'm one way. I have a level of integrity. So therefore, I don't have to second guess. They don't have to second guess me because they know who I am. They know how I'm coming. Anybody that encounters me knows how I am. They ain't even got to question it. Anybody that encounters me knows how I am and knows what I believe. They know what I stand for because the authentic me does not change what I stand for. I am who I am, whether or not you see me in church. I am who I am, whether or not you see me at my home. I am who I am, whether or not we're at an event. I am who I am. And for years, I used to minimize her. For years, I used to pull back on her because I didn't want people to say I was too spiritual. I didn't want people to say, I was too serious. So I didn't want people to say, this, that, and the third about me. And I used to shrink back and I would actually change to make other people feel comfortable. But guess what? When you learn who you are and the authentic you, when I say your happiness matters most, that happiness and joy, you ain't changing who you are just to make somebody comfortable. Because if you really love me, and if I am really divinely connected to you, and if I am really supposed to be in your presence, then God's going to make a way for me to be in your presence. And guess what? If my presence makes you uncomfortable, as long as I'm the authentic me, then obviously there's something in me that's making you uncomfortable. I myself am not making you uncomfortable. Something in my spirit, in my presence, in my personality has made you uncomfortable because maybe there's something that needs to be ignited in you. Okay. All right. Let me move on. Here's another benefit of embracing the authentic you. You realize and accept your potential. Outside sources do not dictate or limit your ability to obtain your potential and walk in your purpose. I'll say it again. Outside sources do not dictate or limit your ability to tap into your potential and walk into your purpose. When you are authentically you, you realize and you are committed to accessing the potential that you know you have. Somebody got to say, I'm not settling. I don't settle because I know who I am authentically. I will not settle for something that's beneath where I'm supposed to be. I may be here now and I'll work this level while I'm here, but I'm not settling here. Oh, come on here, Jesus. I'll say it again. I will own this level I am in now, but I'm not settling here. I'm going to work this level, but I'm going here. Let me say it again. I am owning that I am on this level. I'm not in denial. I'm not living in a fairy tale. I'm not living in denial. I know that this is the level. I own this level. I work this level, but I don't settle for this level. Oh, come on here. Somebody said, I own this level. I work this level, but I don't settle for this level. I own this level. I work this level, but I don't settle for this level. I own this. Hey, God, I own this level. I work this level, but I'm not settling for this level. This level is just a part of the journey. Okay. The level, you have to realize that the authentic you can't stay here. All right. Here's the next benefit to it: confidence and self-esteem. The authentic you loves the total you. I'll say it again. The authentic you loves the total you. The authentic you loves the total you. The authentic you loves the total you. You're probably saying, Dr. Vaughn, why did you say that multiple times? Because some of us only love the part of us that gets it right. Some of us only love the part of us that gets it right. Some of us don't love the part that gets it wrong, but the authentic you loves the total you. The authentic you does not cast away the you that made the mistake. The authentic you does not talk down about the one that messed up. The authentic you realizes that life is a journey and that I can actually take that moment that I messed up and then I can take that moment, learn from it so I can continue on this journey. The authentic me loves the total me. The authentic me loves the total me. It allows me to embrace the good and the bad while I increase my worth, my respect, my love, and my confidence. It helps me to increase my love, my worth, my respect, and my confidence. When I understand that I am not perfect, but I am continuing to build and embrace all of my potential, and I'm embracing all of me, then I learn how to love all of me. Here's another thing. This is a heavy one. When you embrace the authentic you, your stress is minimized. Oh, that's a heavy one for somebody. When you embrace the authentic you, your stress is minimized. Happiness and self-respect. It's not for my life that's perfect. It simply means that I am true to me and I'm true to my journey. But here's the dynamic. The reason why, lean on in, the reason why some of us are so stressed out is because we're being everything for everybody. We're being everything that everybody wants us to be. And the authentic you is screaming, saying, I just want you to be you. You're so stressed because let me tell you why. Come on, God. The reason why I don't get stressed about it because I have owned who I am. I am who I am. Unapologetically. Unapologetically. I am the more pusher. Unapologetically, I am God's girl. Unapologetically, I am the prophetic voice of God. Unapologetically, God's anointed and all the rest of my life. I am unapologetically me. So my stress is minimized because I'm not trying to be who you need me to be. I'm not trying to be. Now, if I have the capacity to be that, I will. If I don't have the capacity, I won't. Okay. I'll say it again. If I have the capacity, I will. If I don't have the capacity, I won't. I'll say it again for the people in the back. If I have the capacity, I will. If I don't have the capacity, I won't. Why? Because the authentic me will not be depleted trying to be what you need me to be if it's going to alter who I am. Come on here. I can't hear nobody. Oh God, God, we out here. I said the authentic me is not going to alter who I am to be who you need me to be if it's going to deplete me. I'll say it again. God. I said the authentic me is not going to alter who I am to be who you need me to be if it's going to deplete who I am. And so when I am me and I'm walking in the fullness of me, my stress is minimized because I ain't got to balance nobody but me. Oh, come on here. I ain't got to balance nobody but me. All I got to do is balance who I am. I ain't got to change it. I just got to balance who I am. And if I have the capacity to be who you need me to be, you got it. You got it. If I have the capacity to be who you need me to be, you got it. But if I do not have the capacity to be who you need me to be, I am honest enough with the authentic me to say I can't do it. We think it's honorable to spread ourselves thin. We think it's honorable to alter who we are for somebody else. We think it's honorable. Somewhere somebody told us that lie, that it was honorable. No, what is honorable is for you to be who God created you to be, flow in the lane and walk in the footsteps that He created for you, be the design that He did without altering it for somebody else's glorification and somebody else's happiness. That's what actually is honorable, is me honoring who God created me to be and knowing that that is more than enough. And if that is not enough for you, then obviously we were not divinely connected, and it's okay. My emotions might have got the best of me and I might have let you in. But guess what? When I realized that you were now altering the authentic me, now you have to go. God bless you in Jesus' name. It's okay. My emotions might have got the best of me. I love you come on with it's fine. But when I realize that you're changing the authentic me, we might have to, okay, praise the Lord. Okay, come on here. All right. All right. Let me leave out here because I'm getting stuck. Okay. So here's the thing. I want you to, when you are the authentic you, there are 5 things that happen. When you are the authentic you, listen, you live with integrity, you are honest with yourself, you walk in self-confidence, you manage your emotions, and you embrace the now, even in the process. I'll say it again. When you are the authentic you live with integrity, you're honest with yourself, you walk in self confidence, you manage your emotions, and you embrace you now and in the process. I'll say it one last time. When you are the authentic you live with integrity, you're honest with yourself, you walk in self confidence, you manage your emotions, and you embrace you in the now and in the process. You embrace, you embrace. So that's what I call talk. That's what I hopped on to talk to you about today. I hopped on to talk to you. Be authentically you. Be authentically you. Nobody can be you better than you. And sometimes when we say be authentically you, sometimes, we always say that's probably the hardest thing. It should be the easiest thing. It's who you were made to be. It's who you were created to be. Be authentically you. You are amazing. You are a masterpiece. You are resilient. You are tenacious. You are strong. You are an overcomer. You are bold. You are. But can't nobody convince you of that. You got to learn that for you. But when I say this, and I'm going to bid farewell, when you do not embrace the authentic you say you went through all that for nothing. When you do not embrace the authentic you say that everything you went through for nothing. But let me tell you something. Everything that I went through helped me show up as the more pusher today. It helped me show up as God's girl. It helped me show up in the fullness. You can't heal until you actually learn and embrace you. You, you are enough. You're more than enough. The way God created you, the way God designed you. Stop trying to alter it to fit society, or try to alter it to fit the status quo, or try to alter it to fit what's popular, or try to alter it. I'm okay being me. That's all I got for y'all. I'm okay being me. Matter of fact, I love being me. And there was a season in my life, can I be transparent? There was a season in my life that I didn't like being me. It was easier to be what people needed me to be. It was easier for me to adapt to what people wanted me to be. But then I was always depleted and stressed on the other side. So on the outside, it looked like I was good. But then I was depleted and I was stressed. Depleted and stressed, going through, not happy. But when I learned me, Shabana, the person, when I learned the woman, when I learned her, and I embraced the fullness of who God created her to be, I started falling in love. I wasn't in love with her first, but I started falling in love with her. The more I learned her, the more I fell in love with her. The more I learned her, the more I embraced her. The more I learned her, the more I appreciated her. But I had to learn her. Are you willing to take time to learn who you really are? Some of us have been told for years, this is the way we're supposed to be. This is the way we should be. This is the way it should be. This is what should be. This is what should do. Yeah, I mean, so many. We got, and I said something earlier on my reel. Sometimes you got to unlearn to heal and be whole. Sometimes you got to unlearn, and some of you need to unlearn these bad habits you had of being a chameleon. Some of you need to unlearn these bad traits that you learned of adjusting for people and settling. You got to unlearn all of that. You got to unlearn all of that. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time to be the authentic you. It's time to be the authentic you. Yep. So that's what I hopped on here to tell you. Yes, be authentically you. Everybody else is taken. Just be you. Be authentically you. And understand that God has you covered. How He created you was more than enough. How He created you is more than enough. And so, listen, I love each and every one of you. I just want you to be you. I want you to enjoy being you and know that God created a masterpiece. Here's the thing. Now you got to see it. Now you, yes, you got to see the you that God created. You. So I challenge you, be authentically you. Be authentically you. Love yourself. Love your journey. Love your process. Embrace it all. Listen, I'll see you back here again for Lunchtime Empowerment Talk, Dr. Vaughn. I love y'all. If you haven't already done so, go down there. Check out the website, the new website, www.shabanawhitehead.com. Make sure you subscribe. Guess what? When you subscribe, you get a free ebook called Manifesting More. Yep, that's right. When you subscribe, you get a free ebook. So make sure you head on over down there to that website, subscribe, tell your friends and your family, come on over to the website, check us out and subscribe. And guess what? If you want to, while you're over there, grab you a Be Authentically You t-shirt. Yep, we have it. I am teaching it. The shirts are on there. Be Authentically You. Head over there and grab you one today, because guess what? The best thing you can be is be you. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you back here next time.